Hello, everyone. We had a client get in touch with us not long ago. She said that she was just finishing rereading David Allen's first book, Getting Things Done, The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. And what she said was, my sense is that this is a different book, she said. And she said, was that intentional, or is this some sort of happy coincidence, or how is it that I'm experiencing this differently the second time around? And I thought about that, and we get that kind of feedback actually quite often, whether it's people who've read the book again, whether it's people who have, sometimes they come along to our fundamentals seminars more than once, right? So they'll repeat a seminar that they've done before. Sometimes it's, they'll listen to one of our podcasts, or in some way they'll re-engage with some of the core material around getting things done. And their experience will be, hey, there's something here that I didn't see before. And what's interesting about that, it takes me back to my own experience of seeing David Allen do seminars. So for several years, David did a series of seminars, about one a year in London. And of course, being the local partner of the David Allen Company here in the UK, we would come along and get the chance to see David do his thing. And what was interesting was every time I went into that seminar, I thought to myself, hey, surely having, read all the material and listened to David do, umpteen presentations and TEDx's and all of this, surely this time I won't need to take any notes. And every time I would come out of the experience with multiple pages of notes. And I'm thinking about why that is. And I think ultimately it boils down to two things. One thing is that getting things done is comprehensive, right? It looks at our productivity from all kinds of different angles, from any angle that's likely to be relevant in terms of things that you could optimize to get more things done, and do that in a way that reduces your stress levels and ensures that you're focused on the right things. So it's comprehensive, and I think the nature of our engagement with anything like that's comprehensive is likely to be that the first time we are exposed to it, we understand a lot of things theoretically, and we are really drawn to certain elements of the topic, whatever it is. So for me, one of the things that I took away from my very first Getting Things Done seminar was this idea that keeping things in your head was a bad idea. I thought, that's such a great, idea. It seems to be so powerful. I'm going to implement that straight away. And I did. And that was one of the things that really drew my attention in that first interaction or that first experience of getting things done. And some of the other core ideas, and I'll just pick one, the advantage of keeping a projects list. For me, in the moment, that I understood it theoretically, of course, a multi-step outcome that you're going to get done in the next year. That's what a project is. And despite the fact, though, that I understood it theoretically, I didn't feel sort of hungry for it, right? And it was only a couple of months later, actually, where I start to get to the point where I recognized that having a clear sense of what my projects were, what my multi-step outcomes were, that meant that I was better able to prioritize. And so I started to spend more time, creating, honing, refining my projects list. It's interesting. I'm just thinking as well in the moment about this coaching that I did recently, where this client was talking about, this was a follow-up session. So she'd been coached, and she was talking about some of her frustrations with what was going on in her life and the things that seemed to her to be suboptimal in the contents of her system. And as we talked about it, what she recognized was that one of the elements of GTD good practice, this thing that we call the weekly review, was something that she had understood theoretically, but she hadn't really implemented. Okay, so we talked through again, what's a weekly review all about? We actually did one together, and that cleared up an awful lot of the sources of friction that she was experiencing in her system. So with the end of the year approaching, This is a time when a lot of us are looking at our ways of working and thinking, are there things I can refine? Are there things that I should be doing differently? Maybe different tools, who knows? And my advice here is, if you choose to engage with that as the end of the year comes nearer, what you might want to do is, go back to the book, go back to the seminar guide. If you were in on one of our seminars, go back to the coaching materials, go back to go back to your notes from the coaching if you took notes. Go back to some of the original content, and see if that doesn't mean that it becomes clear to you, as David Allen would say, that you have new ears to hear, that there's content in here which all of a sudden is relevant. You might have understood it theoretically before, but now it feels like you've got an imperative to implement it. I hope that was helpful. If you want to hear more from us, please do like and subscribe. And do let us know, as always, if there's anything you'd like us to be talking about in the various podcasts and blogs that we do. We very happily take requests. I wish you all the best for the holiday season. This is probably the last blog you're going to hear from me before the end of the year. And we'll look forward to being in touch in the new year. Bye for now.